Oh,
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dead Funny Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Joined today are my co-hosts, JoJo and James.
I'm here.
Woot woot. Before we jump into the meat and potatoes of this podcast here, James, why don't you go ahead and throw a little promo out for the new vision of Dead Buddies and what we're going to be doing with that.
So basically, we have this whole list of games that we're going to be doing, and we are playing them on their hardest difficulties with no respawns.
No respawns.
And we're seeing how long we can last or beat the game as quick as possible.
Because Dead Buddies has usually always been, well, it started out pretty heavy as zombie shit, but that's because that's basically all we had at the time. And then me and James are huge fans of survival games. It's our favorite game kind out there. So we play a lot of those. But those can get pretty boring to watch whenever you're just, chilling. So we did an episode of Mad World of Don't Starve Together, and that's on the channel for people to go see. It was me, James, and Mike, where we turned on everything on the highest respawn, hardest difficulty, all of it, and died within seconds. But it was chaotic, fun as shit, had a great time. So that's basically what we want Dead Buddies every episode to look like. So all these new survival games that you're going to see coming to the channel, they're only going to get one episode apiece, and it's going to be hardest difficulty, blind, jumping in, go, see how long we can survive. So far, we've recorded 2 episodes, and I don't think we've made it past 15 minutes on either one of the games. So, yeah, it's going great. Great for content-wise, that's for sure. But yeah, so that's the kind of the new vision of Dead Buddies that James kind of came up with, his show and stuff like that. We were kind of trying to really hone in what we want kind of the flagship of our gaming content to be, and that turned out to be Dead Buddies, and trying to move forward with that. So we'll see some guest stars on there from time to time, because we'll start doing some sign-up sheets with inside the company. But yeah, you might see JoJo on some episodes. I know we got Kelsey for sure is going to show up on an episode of Raft, which she's super pumped for, which I wish she was here because I was going to talk shit to her. But at the end of our DFU Dropout edition that we had come out on the channel this week, we just basically talked shit about Kelsey at the end of it. We're like, yeah, Kelsey wants us to come, and she's been playing Raft, but like, we're the survival masters. So we'll show her how to play Raft. She just doesn't know how.
100%.
So... I think the main thing she was mad about the most is that whenever you said when we were talking about, because basically what we did, for those of you who didn't see it yet, and if you didn't, it's on the channel, but since we're survival masters, we decided that we were going to use our knowledge to give you 5 great tips on how to survive the zombie apocalypse, right? And I think it was tip 3, we were talking about your group, who you should be grouped up with, and we talked about having a fat friend that you can outrun, because you just don't need to be faster than zombies, you need to be faster than the slowest person in your party. And whenever we said fat friend, I actually got a picture of Wedge from Final Fantasy VII Remake and put him up there. And she was like, you used Wedge as the fat friend to die by monsters? You're a monster. I was like, sorry, Kelsey. He's nice and all, but that's not gonna, make me feel bad about him dying to the zombies if my life or his. So, whoops. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun making that video. I threw a lot of editing into that. So it was really cool for that to go out. Everybody got a chance to kind of see what we were talking about for the Dead Buddies future. So yeah, we're super pumped about that. Going to promote that a little bit on a couple other different shows. It's not coming yet. Once we kind of air down what our drop dates are going to start looking like, we'll do a channel update and kind of move forward with that and kind of give you guys, an inner look at, how content is going to be coming out as far as for the second quarter of the year for Dead Funny. Things are definitely going to ramp up, so get ready for that. It's not going to be 2 episodes a week, that's for sure. But that's all I can tell you. I'm not going to spoil anything else. I got some other things cooking, so I'm pretty excited about it. But back to the podcast. Holy fuck, dude. Vermintide 2. It's a pretty good game. Not going to lie. I played the first one and I hated it. I thought it was terrible. I felt like it was linear. Like, this doesn't feel so linear. Well, it still is really linear, honestly, if you think about it. But it just doesn't feel I don't know. I got so bored so fast the first one. This one I don't feel as bored. And I feel like the combat is very fucking smooth. Like even whenever you hit an enemy and it registers, because I'm using a longsword right now, or not a longsword, but a great sword. Whenever I hit, the enemy spin the same way that my motion of my sword is going, which I thought was really fucking neat. Because a lot of games don't do that. Like you hit them and they just like stumble back, some weird fucking animation or whatever, because it's not pre-programmed like that, or it's pre-programmed to just stumble backwards. Yeah. And I thought that was pretty cool. Or like whenever I hit this dude on the right side, I actually chopped off his right fucking arm. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. So combat seems very fluid, very nice, but I'm worried about ramping up difficulties because, man, dude, those enemies swarm you fucking quick.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's
out
like,
of nowhere.
Here's like 5 guys in a room, and then you kill those 5 guys, and all of a sudden you hear a lot of commotion. You turn around, there's like fucking 50 of them running through the back door, and you're like, oh shit. And then it gets real quick. So, yeah. There's a lot of health potions around, but I gotta feel like they dumbed down the drops on those whenever you go up harder in difficulty as well. There's no way they're gonna keep all that shit around. So we had that one area where there was like fucking 5 med packs and 2 health potions. I was like, what the fuck is this nonsense? So
they probably have like intentional safe rooms, right? Like between
somewhat.
Like Left 4 Dead had those, just like here's some med packs and stuff.
Yeah, it's something like that, yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, I mean, I remember seeing, was it the Xbox showcase, that new Warhammer they were doing where it's like you go down and it's like more zombie-ish than, the medieval.
Yeah, they're doing, I guess, like 40K version of Vermintide.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking about possibly looking into that. And then James the other night was like, oh, dude, like, we should fucking look into this. And then I went on G2A and there it was for fucking $5. And I was like, not gonna pass that up, so I'm gonna throw $5 at that.
Yeah.
Ease. So definitely gonna fucking stream that later. But yeah, it's a fun game so far. Definitely enjoyed it. I like it. It's going pretty well. But man, it's crazy to me. I can't think of anything to get excited for gaming wise for this year so far. I literally have like nothing is on my radar. Not a single fucking thing. So, because I have no firm due dates on anything Final Fantasy related, besides the fact that we're supposed to get a new DLC for 14 at the end of the year. So, 16, we're supposed to get information, but that's all we got told. So, could be a due date. Maybe. I doubt it, but I don't know. A lot of people are getting excited because they're like, oh, the remake's coming to the PS5. And I was like, well, yeah, the first part. I bought a PS5 just to replay the fucking first part. It's not happening. Sorry. I'll buy the PS5 for 16 in part 2, but not the first part. Nope. So, yeah, but I don't think there's anything. I mean, obviously Halo Infinite, but I mean, I don't know, man.
Theoretically, yeah.
Now that I got the Game Pass,
everything
and I get that for free, it's like, Go ahead.
Vague about anything coming out this year at this point because they don't know, I guess, how much longer they're going to have to deal with virus limitations or something, right?
That's fair too.
Everything's been delayed and they don't want to come out and say, hey, it's coming out in May and then move it back again. I guess.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if originally they planned on something like 16 coming out this year and then now it can't because they got pushed back, or Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh yeah.
Still coming out at some point.
That's still so interesting
but
to
who
me
knows?
because, like, right now we're doing the whole Zelda, Legend of Zelda DFU.
DFU, yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me because I think I was explaining that to Kelsey the other day where it's like this is the first time they've ever done, like, a sequel, like a direct sequel. Like, this is part 2. You know what I mean? They're usually always a different name. They're sort of a direct sequel because of the timeline, obviously. But it's like,
Majora's Mask is a direct sequel to Ocarina. It's the same little Link.
Well, it
Link's
depends.
Awakening is legally a sequel to Link to the Past.
See, because we just got through talking about Ocarina of Time, so now she understands the difference between the fact that there are the 3 timelines where the hero dies, the hero survives, and then the hero survives and is turned back into a kid. So technically, you are right. Majora's Mask would be considered a sequel. Prequel, but technically. I don't know. See, that's where that gets weird to me.
It is, yeah.
Because it's a sequel,
this is the closest
but
thing
it's a
done
cool.
to Majora's Mask again, kind of.
Yeah.
Where they're reusing, like Majora's Mask was, hey, we got a bunch of assets already. Let's they reused all the characters and most of the gameplay, and reshuffled them. Breath of the Wild 2 is kind of them doing that again.
Yeah, because they gave us a completely different map and shit. So I wonder if they're gonna do it in Breath of the Wild then. We're gonna have a completely.
Well, yeah, I think
map.
they're definitely building on the same map to some degree.
Yeah,
but
I would have to think so. I mean, that's a big ass open world.
Because they put a lot of work into that thing. It's huge.
Breath of the Wild was fucking huge, dude.
Yeah.
That shit was so much
right.
fun.
But so hopefully also they'll get to be weirder with it, like they were with Majora's Mask, where it's like they don't have to just be like, hey, it's Ganondorf, it's Ganon again, let's go do that. They can be like, I don't know, here's some weird guy, and he's doing something with the moon.
There's their chance to bring like Vati or somebody back from like
the
old day.
Yes.
Like Vati or Demise. Fucking one of them, dude. That'd be dope, dude. I mean, I'd like Majora again, but it wouldn't make sense. So it's like, well, that's already happened before.
I mean, now I wouldn't think they'd do directly that, but like, just think they can do. They don't have to stick to. They already did the thing with Ganon in that timeline, so now they're open to do. Someone else has to be the problem now, so they can do something weirder.
I can't remember how we got to the subject of it, but we were talking about you and the DFU that we just recorded, and we talked about the fact that if you had to get a tattoo, I said I could see you getting a Zelda tattoo. Like if you had to get
that would definitely be a consideration.
Boom! I called it.
It's that. If the leading candidate I always think about is it would be Pac-Man probably.
Yeah.
Just I like the image of Pac-Man. It's like a symbol. Games, but Zelda is on the list certainly.
Yeah, I was like, I said, she's like, you really think so? I was like, I mean, he's big on Nintendo, and I know he loves Zelda, so I would be very surprised. It
would maybe Mario before Zelda, even though it would be like a mushroom or something. Yeah, I'm
huge Mario.
Big time Mario guy.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, it's been interesting going through the story with her. She's definitely liking it and picking it up. And at the end of the last episode, because we just finished Ocarina, we had some time left. I went over some like really cool fan theories about, obviously with Link being different links and shit like that. And one of them I told her about, which obviously is very dated, but it was the one where they believe that the different games, it's like Inception for Link. Every time you wake up, because every game you wake up, you start out the game by waking up.
Yeah.
Every time, so it's like. The last game was a dream. I was like, imagine Nintendo gives us like a big fuck you like 20 years from now where they go, all right, we're releasing the real Link. It's all been dreams up to this point, but you're going to be able to see the real Link, and it's like a desk job simulator or some shit. Link goes to work, corporate office, let's go. Navi is just Siri on a cell phone.
Well, like what if they like kind of went for that, and like how Final Fantasy 15 was just like, here's Final Fantasy, but they have cars.
Yeah,
just like
very modernized.
They gave Link a motorcycle weirdly in Breath of the Wild. What if they just leaned into that?
Yeah, that's true.
Modern cyberpunk.
I found this meme that I sent to my buddy's wife. She's a huge Zelda fan, and it's Link on the smallest fucking motorcycle from Mario Kart. And he's driving his little bitty motorcycle, and it's like, I'm coming for you, Ganon. And it's like, the longer you look at it, the funnier it gets. It's like, that's pretty fucking good, dude. Oh my gosh. Shit was cracking me up. But yeah, I love Zelda, man. Zelda's so fucking good.
Oh,
such
me
a
too.
good game. Yeah. And it was one of those things where it's like, even going through it, I was like, I mean, it's like I told her, in my opinion, it's just like Final Fantasy VII, where it's like, it doesn't do it justice. You still need to, like, experience the game yourself to some level. Because, like, the music of the game, doing all the different songs, just the entire story.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, and in my opinion, like, Ocarina of Time was a great game when it came out. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's still one of the only games to ever get a 10 out of 10. But it's also one of those games that once you finish the entire compilation and you go back and see how this was literally the spine of the timeline, it just gives you much more appreciation for that game and how it all played out.
And also, Zelda games are pretty light on cutscenes and stuff. Like there's it's so much of it is just
Actually
existing in this world.
Exactly.
That yeah.
Well, that was one of the cool things that
Same.
I think Kelsey said she liked a lot was the fact that one, you could always name Link whatever you wanted to. You never had to actually name him Link. And she was like, "Oh, why?" And I was like, "You know what? I actually don't know that myself." And I went in and looked, and they said that the reason why you never had to be Link was because Nintendo wanted you to be as immersed as possible. So whenever a character or an NPC was talking to you, it got to respond to you personally versus Link. So I could have went through as Chris, and stuff like that. Which I never did. I fucking named him Link, obviously. But, it just is what it is. So, yeah, we were talking about that. One of the ones I'm excited for, I told her the theory, but I didn't go into depth about it because we haven't done Majora's Mask yet. That's the next game that we're doing. Because I'm going to take her down the child era first because I'm biased. Sure. But, was that there's a big theory out there that Majora's Mask... So if we get into spoiler content, Kelsey, if you're watching, spoiler content. Anyways, but in Majora's Mask, they look at that game as the 5 stages of grief. Like it was based off the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. So there's 2 caveats to it. The 5 stages of grief are Link is searching for Navi the entire time because she's with the other fairy with Skull Kid, and Navi died, and so he's coming to terms with that, or Link is dead, and his conscience is trying to come to terms with that. I was like, that's fucking cool as shit, dude. I actually like that theory a lot. Like, that's very fucking interesting. So, and then they go into...
And, like, Majora's Mask is, like, weirdly dark and serious at times. Like,
absolutely. It has a way more...
When you get to the last day and the moon's coming down, you got people who are, like, cowering... coming to terms with the fact that the moon is about to crash into them.
And kill everybody.
Like, yeah, and so it's really interesting
dude,
in the series because most of the series is more straightforward. Just here's an adventure, here's the bad guy.
Exactly. Well, and that was something that she also liked too. Was like with Mario, it's always like, oh, damsel in distress, gotta go rescue from Bowser, bring her back. Boom, boom, boom. With Zelda, she's not so much just this damsel in distress. Like, her finding out that Zelda was Sheik, she fucking loved that. She's like, oh, wow, that was fucking awesome. Like, this entire time you thought this random dude was just helping you do the game is actually Zelda. But on top of that, for Ganon to not just be your normal enemy, I think that's something that brought me to Ocarina myself as far as like, oh my god, this game's amazing, to where it's like, he basically had all this shit pre-predicted as it was unfolding. It was pretty awesome. Like, he had fucking tabs on Link, let Link open the fucking temple for him, knew Link would not be able to fucking do anything once the temple was open, went in, grabbed the Triforce, got the fuck out, did what he had to do. I was like, damn, dude. Like, it wasn't just I'm here, I'm going to kidnap the princess, ha ha ha, I control the castle, come kill me. You know what I mean? It literally was like all this other shit going on, and I was like, wow. For that age.
What a weird reinvention of that character who, until Ocarina of Time, had been a big pig man.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, okay, he's still this pig man, but like...
Yeah, at the end.
It turns out he was just stuck in that form because way in the future, and he'd won. But really, he was a dude for a while. And
Gerudo.
A pretty cool dude.
Yeah, one of the Gerudos.
Yeah. He was cool.
That was probably, I think, the biggest letdown for Kelsey was I was like, so this is one of the games that's literally been rated 10 out of 10. It's literally called one of the best games of all time, like, by fandoms everywhere.
Yeah.
No contest. Like, yeah, I know I'm biased, but no contest. And it probably has the worst first boss fight ever. Where you're sitting there just fucking ping-ponging the fucking ray beam back and forth. I was like, oh, that shit was always so stupid, dude. I was like, oh my god. I told her about the little cheap trick, too, that people found out about, because I used to use it, too, where if you had an empty bottle, that was quicker to hit the blast back than the fucking Master Sword. She's like, so you literally ping-pong a beam of energy back and forth. And I was like, yeah. She's like, and this game got a 10 out of 10. I'm like, yes, it did.
That's a classic. I think in Link to the Past, if you use the bug net in the same sort of fight, it goes faster. Like, yeah, that's Zelda.
Yep, that's Zelda for you. I was like, to be fair, The boss fight with Ganon was completely different. You weren't ping ponging shit.
Oh yeah,
back
that
and
goes
forth.
great.
That one was crazy.
Like,
I was like, but with Ganondorf, yeah, that's literally what it was. Was it? Boom, 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 boom. She was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Yep, exactly."
Classic.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, aspects of the series have developed over time. Obviously, it was a 10 out of 10 in 1998,
Yep.
right? Twilight Princess nailed it on boss fights. I feel like.
Yeah, Twilight Princess was
Another
dope.
level.
Oh,
Like,
Twilight Princess.
they figured
was
that shit out.
So good. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I literally sat down and beat that game in one whole setting. Like I literally did not move until I beat the game. I literally sat down and played it all night long. It was literally like a great. If I finally had gotten the Wii, finally had gotten the Zelda game, sat down and just ran through the entire fucking game. It was so
Oh yeah,
good.
I love it. I mean, it was my favorite for a long time, I think.
I just, man, I can't wait till we finish, and then it gets to a point where she can, like I said, kind of for like I said with the whole stages of grief. I'm so excited to go through Majora and then let her figure out, you know, what stage we're at of grief and shit like that and everything else.
Yeah.
And see if she can like point it out. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm pretty pumped about that too.
Yeah, that should be neat. That's specifically a cool one. That should be a fun episode to do.
Well, not only that, but
Yes,
it's like
do a very
that
different
one.
scripture.
I feel like there's so many people I know who are Zelda fans, and the majority of them I know have never beat Majora's Mask. They literally just gave up. They're like, eh. They got too far.
That was
couldn't
when
get
I
past
mean,
something and just left. And I'm like, man, dude, I couldn't do that, dude.
When I was a kid, I found the idea of time limits in games very frustrating. So I don't think I beat Majora's Mask when I was a kid. Like the same thing. Like when Pikmin came out, I like didn't want to deal with it because like, oh, there's this clock all the time.
Yeah.
But then eventually I got over it. And I went back and beat that and played Pikmin. And you ever played Dead Rising?
Yes, dude. Oh my
The tangent.
God.
I think that's where I finally became okay with the concept of a time-limited game. Was
Fucking
playing
Dead
Dead
Rising. Oh my god, dude. I remember when that game first came out. That game was the shit. Me and my brother played that fucking game for weeks, dude.
It was incredible. I played that game's demo through like 5 times. It blew my mind because they had figured out how to have all these zombies on screen at once. It was one of the craziest technological leaps, I feel like.
Well, that was back whenever I was like a hardcore like achievement person. Like now I still am that way, but it's more like just Final Fantasy wise. So I was getting every fucking achievement. And I remember having to get the zombie genocide achievement. And it was basically
Did you get that one?
Yeah, I literally just drove a gigantic white van into the underground parking lot and just kept driving around because there was shit tons of zombies down there.
That's all you can do. It seems like it sucks.
And then also sniping someone out of a fucking helicopter. That was another fucking rough one.
Oh.
I was like, fucking A, dude.
It was for a few years there. Every zombie game that came out would be like, we have to top Dead Rising. We're gonna put an achievement in that's kill that many zombies plus 1.
Yeah.
I can't remember what else. Like Dead Rising 2 did it, but like I think Left 4 Dead maybe or something. Like a few games were like, haha, let's make you kill even more.
I feel like I didn't play Dead Rising 3 as much as I did the other one. I feel like Dead Rising 3
was not as good.
Yeah, I think I was just over at that point too.
That game worked better on a smaller scale. Like the huge open world driving around a lot. That game is fun when you're in the mix of zombies slamming dudes, you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Tight spaces.
I don't know. Yeah, like I said, and plus I've always been one of those people where like zombies, in my opinion, have just been overplayed like fucking crazy. Like for
by now, absolutely.
Like fucking Walking Dead and everything. It was like at that time, all that shit was coming out, and I was like, bro, fuck, like zombies, everything. I was like, I'm good. But Call of Duty, I can't stop that, dude. Call of Duty Zombies, I fucking love that shit's so good. Now we're getting the new maps, fucking February 4th. And they just came out with this cranked mode, apparently. Where Cantor was telling us about this, and basically what it is that if you kill a zombie, you have 30 seconds to kill another one, or you blow up. So you have to try to time it
like
all.
in the movie Crank? Is that why it's cranked?
I'm guessing, but that's you have to try to time it all right because like at the very end, whenever zombies start getting scarce, everybody's going to need to have the same amount of zombies to make it to the actual end screen so the timer officially resets.
Sure.
So it's like if I kill everything behind me, but James still has like 2 zombies and Cantor still has 1 and they don't kill him fucking fast enough and I fucking die, I'm going to lose like all my shit. It's like, wow, dude. So that's going to be a fun Dead Buddies episode, possibly. That sounds like right up Dead Buddies alley right there. So we'll see. No promises. No promises.
Sure.
But all those new maps, dude.
What are you doing?
Go ahead.
What's the first episode of Dead Buddies you guys are doing?
Well, I don't know if we have
what's specifically
considered what game is, because I usually whenever I do, because basically at this point right now, we're going to stack up some videos just so that way we have a little bit of overflow, which is something that we've practiced on Dead Funny for a while. But, you know, things happen, shit like that, holidays, all the other fun stuff. So we're going to get a little bit of a bank. So I try to refrain from saying stuff like, oh, welcome to the first episode, you know? Right. But so far, because we're going to do a shit ton of games by the time this releases, so I'm okay, because we've really only done the 2. But so far, we've done Risk of Rain 2, starting it out directly on Monsoon. And then we did Sign of Silence. And I don't know if you've played that game yet or not.
I don't even know that one.
Fucking love it. It's great. It's like fucking $3, dude. It's so good. But it's a scary game.
What did you say it's called?
Sign of Silence.
Oh yeah, I've never even heard of that. Okay.
It's a 4-player game. Yeah, it's a very good game. It's a 4-player game. You don't have to play 4 people, but it's up to 4 people. And basically, you get in this car wreck on this bridge because this bridge is like all fucked up. So you end up you fly all the way down and run into this tree. Your car's completely totaled. And the bridge was high up. The fact that we survived the crash is fucking stupid. But anyways, so there's 4. Well, there used to only be 3, but since the recent update, because they're still working on it, they're still putting shit out for it. The recent update that happened this last Halloween, they gave it a 4th way to escape. So there's 4 ways to escape. One of them is getting 3 fuses, putting them in the elevator and going back up the elevator to hit the top of the bridge and then walking away. The other one is getting 3 fuses and I think 1 gasoline can, and then you can get the emergency helicopter and get away. And then there's I think 2 gas cans and the engine to the boat, and you can escape by boat. And then the one that they just added is that if you find your way into the mines, you can find your way down to the monolith that all these cultists use to summon the main monster in the game. Yeah. And if you kill all the cultists and destroy the monolith, then you'll destroy the darkness forever. And that's the 4th way to escape. Cool. So in this game, you start with a flashlight and that's it. You can pick up stuff like syringes to pick your teammates up. You can pick up flare guns, which is what you can use to kill people with. But every time you pick up a flare gun, it's only 1 shot, and then you're out. So you got to really like conserve your ammo. There's different kinds of monsters that do different shit. There's some monsters that are like fucking 20 feet tall. There's some monsters that are the same size as you. There's the cultists that are walking around that you got to be careful for. And you're basically breaking into all these houses and shit and trying to fucking find whatever you can to escape. Get the fuck out. The biggest thing in the game is that there's a noise meter. So the more noise you make, you get dangerously close to summon what they consider to be called the witch. The witch is like this gigantic, long, spider-looking body, but it's all human. So it's like a long fucking torso, and it's got 8 arms like a spider, but they're all like human hands and shit, so it looks like human centipede almost. And this witch's head, she's got long, dark, black hair, and she's just pale white all the way around. And she comes out of the ground, and she finds you, she grabs you, and she brings you underground, and you get dropped off in her nest. Her nest is all the way north in the woods. Getting out of that, it's surrounded by like monsters and cultists like fucking crazy. So trying to get back out to get back with your team so you can escape is hard as fuck. Yeah. If she catches you a second time, she kills you instantly. She decapitates you and you're dead. You're done. Everything else on the map also has a chance to kill you. So you have to be careful for them as well. And there's stuff like bear traps that you can accidentally walk on that make a lot of noise. And then after it makes a lot of noise, it holds you in place until you disarm it and get the fuck out. There's crows that you might not fucking see because you're running around because your flashlight will turn off on you. And then the battery recharges itself. So you just got to give it like 2 seconds and then it will recharge and then you can start moving again. Running over like sticks and leaves makes a lot more noise. There's broken glass that makes a lot of noise. There's dogs that are in fucking cages that start barking their asses off when you get close to them. There's half dead horses on the ground that if you get close to them, they start whinnying and shit like that. It's nuts, dude. But for the Dead Buddies episode, what we did was gave ourselves a time limit. So we had 15 minutes to escape. So it was chaotic as fuck. And I will not give away what happened. But yeah, people will just have to watch to find out. But yeah, and it was funny because the best part that I will say is that and this doesn't give away like the ending or anything, but I did say to James at some point in the video, I'm like, we probably should have looked up what the fastest speed run is. So that way, maybe we didn't give ourselves like an impossible time.
Yeah, you definitely want to know.
James looks it up, and it was fucking 6 minutes. Someone escaped that game in 6 minutes. I was like, "There's no way. There's fucking no way. 6 minutes?
Be pure luck."
I have no idea how they did it. I mean, because it is like James said, it is luck based. It is 100% luck based.
Oh,
because everything's not in the same spot. Like the chests are in the same spot, but the items inside the chest are not in the same. Are not always in that chest.
I'm not sure.
You can also pop open a chest and it's just empty, so you're not guaranteed to get an item either. It's rough, dude, but I fucking love it. The game is so fucking good, dude. It's so good. I love it. Me and James, without the dead buddies taken off table, we literally escaped at one time. One time. And we
out of how many attempts?
We've probably have played it somewhere around like, I don't know, James, like actually trying to escape, we probably played around like 10 times.
Oh, it's been more than that.
More than that? So probably more around 20 times then? That's fair.
Yeah, we have 7 hours on the game.
Yeah, 7 hours in the game we've escaped.
Oh, shit.
Once again, not including Dead Buddies. I'm not saying we did. I'm not saying we didn't. For those of you who are excited to watch it, not saying we did, not saying we didn't. But outside of that, we've escaped one time. And that was by helicopter. So we managed to get what we needed for the helicopter and got the fuck out. So we actually want to go back and escape all the different ways because you actually get achievements and shit for it too. So just to go back and escape all the different ways just to see it out and stuff. Definitely the fucking mines and blowing up the monolith that summons the witch. I think that'd be pretty cool. But you have to kill all the cultists that are down there. And I have no idea how many are down there. So it's like you literally would have to take your time, be super fucking sneaky. And this map is not small at all. This map is fucking huge. And there's like a sawmill, there's a fucking town, there's a fucking farm, a fucking lighthouse, a fucking radio tower, woods all the fucking way around you. Whenever you're not in a fucking specific part, you're in the fucking woods. Woods all the way around you with random fucking sheds and barns and houses and shit in them. Then on the other way down, or you have the fucking the escape ladder, you have the fucking church, the fishing village. Like there's shit everywhere, dude. It is huge. And then you have the mines, which are completely underground, and then the nest, the fucking nest up top. So yeah, it's fucking nuts, man. There's a lot. So you would have to hope you got to run. I mean, I probably would not go down there with less than like 10 shots. That would be my guess.
Sure.
You'd have to probably have like 10 shots because I have no idea how many cultists are down there. I guess it's gonna be more than that, but
probably a bunch.
And you there's no other way to kill them besides the flare gun. You just shoot them with the flare gun and they die. So, which is stupid because you pick up flares and they're not refills for the flare gun. They're different. And you throw them and they don't do anything. They just light.
Like the kind of flare you just put down.
Yeah, you could throw it
like a road flare. Oh,
I don't know. We tried throwing it at them. I know we've tried throwing it near them to see if it does anything. We actually tried throwing it at them, James, and see if we can actually hit them. I don't think we have we?
I don't think we have either.
We might need to try that. Like light it, just fucking hit somebody in the head with it, and just run. I'm gone. The moment I do that, I'm gone. Getting the fuck out. But yeah, so Sign of Silence has been fun, and yeah, it's like I said, super excited for the future. Dead Buddies, and what we got cooking up. Super fun, super entertaining. And the best thing is like I said, I know people like survival games, and I like people like watching survival games, but it's also hard to sit down and watch like a series where it's like an hour-long video, and there's like already 8 of them out of a fucking survival series, and you're just going and going and going to where these are more of a 15 to 20 minute fucking commitment of sitting down and watching just fucking chaos unfold because everything is just crazy everywhere. And on games that we can't do that, like Sign of Silence, we're making exceptions. Like we have 15 minutes, so me and James can't sit here and take our time. We have to be sprinting and making noise and shit like that, and getting here and getting there and splitting up and doing this. So
that's a fun excuse for you to just try out a bunch of like weirder, like more obscure survival things too.
Oh
like,
yeah. James was fucking
like this thing of or whatever. But yeah,
right. Yeah, James was fucking doing research and found like fucking another 10 survival games that me and you had never fucking heard of before.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh man, I'm sure Steam is loaded with people trying, asset flipping stuff from the Unreal store, trying to make something.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. So yeah, I'm super fucking pumped, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm super excited to kind of go through, do different games and shit like that. Yeah. So, but it's also just more along the lines of when we get the game, like maybe just one of us buying it just to kind of see like, I mean, and that's the kind of cool thing about the survival thing too, is like, let's say for some reason we can't like amp anything up and we have to just play it the way it is. It's just another survival game for me and James to just try out, and if we like it, we like it. If we don't, we don't. We won't use it for content, but we'll fucking stream it or some shit. Just fucking play it to play it because we like survival games. So,
sure.
Yeah, it's fucking interesting, man. Like I said, I'm super pumped for where we're going with that. Just making sure we have the fucking content for it. I mean, it's not always survival games too. Like I know one game that we have on the docket that I guess I can put out there so that people kind of get a range of the kind of games that we'll play. Because I mean, technically, Sound of Silence isn't a fucking survival game either, but it's more of a horror survival game versus I have to continue to eat and shit like this to survive. But Keep Talking and No One Explodes, something like that.
Sure.
It's like we just add as many modules to the bomb as possible and fucking give us like a ridiculous time limit and try to just fucking get through it, shit like that. Kind of helps understand the range a little bit better. But
right, you want things you can fail.
Yeah,
and and you fail, right?
Yeah.
Not just you die, you respawn. You want
Well, even on certain games, like we talked about respawn limits. Like for instance, that's what Jay was talking about earlier when he was promoting it was Risk of Rain. Like let's say, for instance, once again, not gonna give anything away, but me and James both go through Risk of Rain. We make it through the first level. We get to the second level, and I die. James goes through, somehow manages to finish the second level by himself. We go to third level, I respawn. I would just kill myself. And the gamer would never come back on me. It would just
really?
on James. It's like, I'm done. Like, that's it. I'm dead.
okay.
I can't play anymore. And James has to try to keep going until he survives. Because if we get these respawns, then it's going to slowly turn back into this long-ass video. And it doesn't really... in my opinion, it takes it takes the threat of death away. Is the way I look at it. Like right now we have a group that we like to play Don't Starve together with, and it's super easy, and I wouldn't necessarily say boring, but not as fun as Don't Starve normally is due to the fact of the mods that I have on. Because two of the people that we're playing with, they're new to Don't Starve, where me and James have played it a lot, and we understand the game, so we have this mod on called Haunt the Campfire. And what that does is that if you die and Don't Starve, you turn into a ghost, and someone has to make a telltale heart to bring you back to life. And whenever they do that, it takes an actual chunk of your actual permanent health away. So you can't just keep dying and dying and dying because you're just going to kill yourself and be out of the game completely. So I'd put on Haunt the Campfire, and what that does is that if you die and you come back as a ghost, all you have to do is just haunt the campfire, and it brings you back to life, and you just suffer no penalties. There's 0 penalties. And it also has don't drop your stuff on, so you don't drop anything either. You just respawn, and you're good to go. You just continue on.
Yeah.
But it's more so that way they can get used to like how to survive the seasons and understand the game just a little bit better, like the hunger and the sanity, because there's a lot to Don't Starve. Like a lot of people look at Don't Starve as like this very simple game. There's a lot to stay alive in that fucking game. Like a lot of shit happens.
I haven't played it in so long. I bet they've added a ton of stuff that I don't even know about.
Dude. Me and James, I showed him this video the other day, and it was called 202. It's either 202 or 220 ways to die and Don't Starve. And I've been playing Don't Starve since it was in alpha. I actually like literally bought in when it was in alpha.
Yeah, that was early too.
somebody playing it. I can't remember who it was, and I was like, oh my god, I would love that game. And I got a bunch of my friends to play it, and then I was the only one that was playing it, so I just played it by myself. And I got real heavy into it, and it's always been one of those games that I can just go back to and just pick it up and just have a good time. And now that I've gotten my spouse into it, and my mom, she plays with us and shit like that, it's a lot of fun. We all have a good time. And so we were watching that video, and I'm pretty sure 85% of the things that came out to kill you in that video, I've never seen. Literally never seen. Didn't even know it fucking existed. Yeah. Blew my mind how much that we literally have played. I mean, my hours in that game have got to be ridiculous. And I literally haven't even seen the majority of that shit. So the goal is to get them to a point, because we started getting to the point where it's like, instead of we get in, I decide where the base is at, and then I start building everything, and then we just go from there, and they just kind of help out with like supplies and food and shit like that. We're letting them build everything now, so that way they can kind of understand like the shit you have to do. It just depends on the characters. Like, for instance, my girlfriend, she likes to play as Wormwood, and he's a plant character. So he does a lot of good stuff with like planting vegetables and stuff like that, and being able to make them grow faster than other characters. But Wormwood can't chop down trees because it hurts his sanity.
The plant.
Yep, exactly. Can't pick flowers, like anything like that. Like all those easy remedies of, you know, fucking one, getting firewood, or two, being able to fucking help your sanity by picking flowers. Yeah, it does the opposite. So some characters have those that we have to kind of work past. My mom, she uses Willow, and Willow's basically like the neutral character like Wilson is. So just the female version, except she gets the fucking pros and cons of the lighter. So, and Bernie's a pretty fucking big pro. Having that fucking bear to fight off the fucking little nightmares that come out and chase you and shit. That's actually pretty OP. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, super fucking fun game.
You have played 130 hours of Don't Starve.
There you go. Boom.
Look it up on Steam.
There you go. 130 hours of Don't Starve.
I've played substantially fewer hours. I don't even know.
Substantially fewer. Oh, man. Yeah, because, I mean, back whenever I was gaming on a shitbox laptop in order to be able to fucking play games, and I could barely run anything, I think that was when I first started playing Don't Starve. Because it had just
Sure, that's a perfect
alpha-wise. Because it's not too, like, graphically draining or anything. And I love the art style, dude. I love the art style. It's very Tim Burton-esque, in my opinion. Very Tim Burton-esque. So
yeah, that game had style when it came out. I was into it.
Yep, exactly. So, and I like all the fucking characters. I think it was literally our last time playing fucking James, dude. Our last time playing, he goes, all the characters start with W. I was like, you're just fucking noticing that? Every fucking
never really paid attention.
W. Every single one. Wilson, Willow, Wendy, WX, Weber, Wartox, Wormwood, all of them, dude. All W's. There's so many fun characters now. It's stupid, dude. Oh, well. Great game. Great game. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Wanted to go ahead and make sure, once again, when Dead Buddy starts coming out, you guys check it out. The biggest thing that me and James are asking for is to put suggestions of games down in the comments. Once again, doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but there's a very good chance that we'll look into it. So throw the suggestions down there, because there might be some games you guys know would be perfect for Dead Buddies that we're not necessarily looking at, because we have a long list as it is. That being said, once again, like I said, going to be more towards the Q2 of the year. We'll have an official channel update, kind of going more into depth about that as far as content so that's coming out. But definitely, like I said, if you're a big fan of Dead Funny, which a lot of you people watch the podcast, and trust me, love you for it, appreciate it. But yeah, we're definitely going to be start knocking out content again. Want to get back to year one Dead Funny, where we were Monday through Friday, there was a new video out. So, like I said, definitely going to be looking forward to that. But make sure you check out the merch if you want to support us. That's the best way to do that. Our description has the link in it below. It's always on the very top. Underneath that, we've got the Twitters and Twitches, so make sure you go check those out as well. You can follow people like me, James, and JoJo actually on both those platforms. If you want a more direct form of communication, just come by, hang out, watch us play some video games. It's a lot of fun. We do a lot of fun stuff over there too. So, but other than that, I hope you guys have a great week. See you next time.